country and pulling recruits out. You lose it once, you understand it was a situation with what was going on there. If it happens twice, now you've got a problem. And so, but they were able to overcome that. And that's a huge get because, like I said earlier, Matt Painter recruited his butt off to on Trent Sisley. He was there seeing him all the time. But that's how the cookie crumbles, as they say. But Purdue they're going to be so young. I mean, half of their roster will be underclassmen this season. You got 5 freshmen and I don't know, there are a couple, 2, 3 sophomores.
Yeah.
That's 7, 8 players right there. That's over half of your team are underclassmen. And one would think that sounds good. In this era of the portal, I don't know about that because if you lose a chunk of that, well, now you're portal shopping in different directions, which has not been an issue for most teams, although Purdue has not gone that route. That's not going to be long before I think that they do have to go that route. I think reality is coming just a little bit later to Purdue as far as people leaving at the end of seasons and all that. Hasn't happened yet. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not saying it's because of Matt Painter or anything. I think it just hasn't happened yet. Just like Indiana had not landed truly an in-state recruit yet 4 years into Mike Woodson's tenure until now. Part of it was the situation. When he got here, they were late getting to guys, and then he was just trying to recruit the best team he could recruit. And then now with this class, it kind of fell into place, having the time and to develop those relationships with the Sisleys, with the Mullins, whether it's the Harrelsons. And now Eric Ribe. I think Eric Ribe is prime to end up at Indiana because they're in that perfect situation where Umar Ballo is just going to be in Bloomington for 1 year. He's more like a Khalil Ware type, but he's watching Khalil Ware about to start his rookie season in the NBA. He's watching Trace Jackson Davis about to start his is this his third season or second season?
Second season, yeah.
He's about to watch Trace Jackson Davis have his second season in the NBA. So he's looking at these guys that have come before him and saying, hey, I wouldn't mind taking that path. And it's not a bad path. And so Indiana could be in prime position to get him, although the portal to me is always just going to be a great way to go now. You personally, I'd rather recruit ready-made talent than a freshman who I am going to have to put all those resources in and then hope they stay. But it's weird. We're all I'm off on time right now, so I'm at the mercy of Skylar. Just pop up when I need to take a break here, brother, and just let me know that. But so it looks like it's time to take a break then. All right, we'll do that. Dylan Sinn from the Fort Wayne Journal Gazette with us. When we come back, we've got football to talk about as the Big Ten rolls on this weekend and the games start to really matter. We've gotten past and through the non-con portion of the schedules, and it should be Big Ten games from here on out. We'll talk about both Purdue, Indiana, and Notre Dame as the Irish, big game coming up for them as they welcome in the Fighting Cardinals of Louisville this weekend. We're back with more to the Hard Truth Studios right after this. This segment is brought to go 11-1. Yeah, I know that sounds like sounds like a nut job talking, but it's because it's a fact. It's a fact. I don't care what happened last year. I don't care what happened last decade. I don't care what happened in 19 whatever. I don't give a crap. A lot of IU fans are saying, yeah, well, Well, you know what? I didn't go to school yesterday. It's been quite a while. I've seen a lot of football as well. So, but it's irrelevant. It wasn't this program. It wasn't this staff. It wasn't this team. And none of that has any bearing on what Indiana will do.
Yeah.
The schedule does.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing is that all we can do is look at the roster for this year, right? Like the roster this year has looked very, very good. I was a little bit concerned with some of the stuff that happened with the defense last week against Charlotte early in the game. I thought they did a good job of adjusting. And I do wonder, like you said, with the weather last week, the weather this coming week, because Maryland likes to throw the ball around the yard. Billy Edwards leads the Big Ten in passing yards right now, I think. So that could be interesting. IU has obviously shown that it can move the ball on the ground at least a little bit, so that helps. I do think I know that there is the people you're talking about where it's IU, and there is a sentiment of that among the fan base where they don't want to get too invested, and I totally understand that. You've been burned before. You don't want to get burned again. But I just think that's not really that's not how you should be a fan. And that's presumptuous on my part to tell people how to be a fan. I get it, but really, like, this is a good team. I think we can safely say that. We don't know exactly how good they are yet. We don't know how many games they're going to win, but this is a good football team in Indiana. It's the best team Indiana's had in quite some time. And just enjoy that. Just enjoy having a good team. Be excited for your team to play every week. Don't be looking around the corner for the fall all the time, right? I spent years doing that with Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan. I've been a Michigan fan my whole life. I spent years doing that, like, what's going to happen at the end of the season? This is a good team, but can we beat Ohio State? Probably not. It's going to be embarrassing. Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm sorry.
One, right? It's so much more fun when you just think, all right, if we win, we win. If not, and I just think that is it makes things more enjoyable when you're not looking around the corner for the next collapse, right? Because IU's going to lose games this year. I think we can safely say that they're not going to go 16-0 and win the national championship. But that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the games as they're happening. You have to be looking around the corner and saying, oh, when are they going to fall? When is the fall going to happen? I'm ready for it.
I have been preaching that. I've been preaching that all week, and I guess I need to write it, because when you just say it, people don't seem to get it. But I have sent out tweets that are to the same effect. I'm like, okay, so you're going to go, oh, I know they're 4-0, but they're not going that next. Well, I know they're 5-0, but they're not going. Well, I know they're 6-0, but I'm not yet. Why? Why are you doing that to yourself? You if you're a fan, you want success, you get success, and now you're just trying to keep it at bay because you don't want to be disappointed. So that's like I'm going to ignore Christmas for all these times in a row because I didn't get what I wanted one year or whatever. I mean, not 1 year, but it doesn't matter. Why not enjoy it? Why not take it in? It's what it's about. It's college football is a unique situation where you've got everybody tailgating, and it's the fall. There's just so many things that go into it. And now, not only do you have all of that, you have not only a successful team, but a team whose success is not done yet, who is going, the success will end up with a very, very good result at the end of the year. Worst case scenario, Indiana's going to one of the best bowls they've been to. At the very minimum, I think this team wins 9 regular season games. That's a minimum for me now. I've raised my minimum. I not that they can't be beaten. They can. And injuries, that changes things in a heartbeat depending upon who it is. This weekend, for example, it's going to be rainy. That's going to slow the game down. That's going to increase the opportunity for turnovers, things like that haven't been happening, but can and are game changers if and when they do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, IU has not turned the ball over all season. which is one of the craziest stats that I can remember. In 4 games against, they haven't played great teams, but they've played 3 teams that are at least competent FBS programs. They haven't turned the ball over once. That is kind of crazy to me. And there's a decent chance they do that for the first time this week, just because, as you said, it's wet. Curtis Rourke could try to throw into coverage and get picked off, or a running back could fumble, or anyone could fumble, quite frankly. It just is going to happen eventually. But that doesn't mean that what we've seen with our own eyes the first 4 weeks of the season was all smoke and mirrors, right? Basically, at this point, if you're saying, well, the collapse is coming for IU, they're going to go 5-7, what you're saying is that who are you going to trust, me or your lion eyes, right? And that's we've seen this team play.
Can you sing a few bars for us, my friend?
I cannot sing. No, I think that you would send your audience running for the exits if I tried to do that, so I'm not going to. If you would like to sing, you are more than welcome to. But no, it is more. They are a good team. We can safely say that. I don't know how many games they're going to win. It would be great for them to win 9 regular season games. I think that's within the realm of possibility. But we know they are a good team. They fly around on defense. They move the ball on the ground and through the air on offense. Curtis Rourke is really calm and collected in the pocket. The offensive line is doing a decent job protecting him. There's not an obvious weakness with this team in such a way that, like, they're not dominant at every position, but there is not a position where you say, boy, that's the exhaust port on the Death Star. That's a good team is going to take that and really shove it down our throat and exploit it. They don't have that, right? Which is the mark of a good team, which is the mark of a well-constructed roster. And they're playing with a ton of confidence right now. It's what IU fans wanted to see for all these years, is just a team that makes sense, right? And that's what it is. That's what you have. So now you're going to be at minimum, you are going to be in the game every week. Just enjoy seeing close games every week. That is not something that has been the case the last couple of years.
There you go, Kurt. Thank you. He says, give me information that Braylon Mullins' UK visit is off. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And Michael must be talking to somebody else on the Andy Moore Honda hotline. Says, so Andrew, you think IU's going 12-0, which they're not going 12-0. Which, wouldn't that be crazy if they were 10-0 at going to Ohio State?
Yeah, I mean,
the hype on that game would be nuts.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Because that means Indiana would be coming off of a win over Michigan.
Yeah.
And 10-0. Oh my! I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen, so don't go nuts thinking that I am a complete whack job, which I'm only half a whack job. But that would just be funny. I mean, it just would be. But I'm looking to see what fans do at games like Nebraska. Maryland, I'm going to give them a break. The weather's going to be crappy, but this could be a close game. And this is the reason why they want and need the fans there, especially towards the latter stages of games if they are tight games. How many games under the previous regime, especially in their last year, went down to the last series? It was like crazy. But, most fans weren't there to see that, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, no, there should be a good crowd there this week. Like, it seems like they've sold most of the tickets. If you are a fan who is going to this game and is going to leave at halftime, I don't really, unless you have some special reason to do so, I don't know why you would do that. Just because, this is I think it's going to be a close game. They're not going to blow this team out like they did UCLA. Maryland is a better team than UCLA is. I do think that they have a competent offense, and their defense has some pieces that you like. They've won 8 games each of the last couple of years. They've beaten IU handily each of the last couple of years. This is a Big Ten football game. If you're not going to come out and stick around for this one, for a team that's undefeated against a team that's 3-1 in an important conference game, then you're basically. It would confirm every stereotype about the IU fan base if you're going to leave at halftime of a Big Ten game when your team is undefeated. Now if they're up or down 28-0, okay, I get it. But I don't think that is going to be the case one way or the other. I think it's going to be a close game into the fourth quarter, and it should be fun. football is exciting. That's why we're here, right? Football is it's fun to watch close football games. So that would be
and to be fair, I was talking to my daughter last night, and she goes to Ole Miss. Very, very successful, traditionally good football program. They're top 5 right now or 6, whatever they are. And I asked her, I said, Kylie, do you all stay for the football games? She goes, well, it depends. And I'm like, yeah, what's it depend on? Well, I'm guilty. I have to say I'm guilty. The last game I left at halftime said we were beating the heck out of the team, yada yada. And all my friends were at the downtown at the at the bars watching the games on TV instead, because if you don't go early, you don't get a spot. And I'm like, oh, that's a bad deal to have. But we've heard Lane Kiffin complain about the same thing. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
It's not like it's Indiana's got got that locked down. What's up next for you, brother?
I will be in South Bend for Notre Dame Louisville this weekend. Very excited for that. I think we're going to learn a lot about both of those teams, which should be a lot of fun. And then obviously just preview work and high school football on Friday, as always.
A big Friday night coming up, of course. Fort Wayne. There's lots of good teams. What's the big game up in Fort Wayne this weekend?
That is a great question that I should probably ask my wife, who is the sports editor at the Journal Gazette, the high school sports editor at the Journal Gazette. So she probably knows more. She probably knows more than I do. But this is a big week for football across the Fort Wayne area. We have plenty of good teams. Carroll, Snyder, East Noble, all of those are really good teams in their divisions. So just fun to see high school football kind of continue on here.
Absolutely. Dylan Sinn from the Fort Wayne Journal Gazette. Appreciate you, my friend. It's always good to have you. Look forward to seeing you again soon as, Big Ten Media Days next week in Chicago.
That's right. See you there.
Yes, sir. We will look forward to it, my friend. Dylan Sinn joining me here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios, and we've got more coming up. Kyle Neddenrip from the